Good morning, children. As you know that we have completed our whole syllabus, we are going to do revise once again. So today's video is for January 6th. Chapter 1, Number System. First we have to learn about types of numbers. Natural numbers, whole numbers, integers only. In this it will come. I'll read the definitions. Natural numbers are 1, 2, 3, that is counting numbers which are denoted by the letter n. Whole numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. denoted by w. Integers are etc. minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, etc. denoted by the letter z only. Just a beginning only, we have already completed, and this concept we have learned in the lower classes also. Just a revision only, so just go through the ideas whatever we are giving. So what are the types of the numbers we came across now? Natural numbers, whole numbers, integers. Next is rational numbers. All the numbers which can be written in the form p by q are called rational numbers, where p and q are integers. And one of the most important concept here, we should add that q not equal to 0. What is the concept here? Rational numbers, all the numbers which can be written in the form p by q, they are called rational numbers only, and where p and q are integers, q not equal to 0. Now the next concept what we learned, irrational numbers. What is an irrational number? A number s is called irrational if it cannot be written in the form p by q, where p and q are integers, and again q not equal to 0. Right? That q not equal to 0, that means denominator never equal to 0, because when denominator equal to 0 we cannot solve. So other two types of numbers we have learned, which are they? Rational and irrational, in addition to our natural numbers, whole numbers and integers. The next we have to learn about the decimal expansion of rational and irrational numbers. First we will go through the decimal expansion of a rational number. The decimal expansion of a rational number is either terminating or non-terminating recurring. Thus we say that a number whose decimal expansion is either terminating or non-terminating recurring, it is a rational number only. So converse statement also true in this case. What is the statement? The decimal expansion are two types for a rational number. Which are they? One is terminating, another one is a non-terminating recurring. So in the converse view, what we are telling, when the decimal expansion is terminating and non-terminating recurring, it is a rational number. The number is called as a rational only. The decimal expansion of an irrational number is non-terminating, non-recurring. When we have seen the rational numbers decimal expansion, it is a terminating and a recurring one, a non-terminating and a recurring one. And now we are seeing that the decimal expansion of an irrational number is non-terminating and a non-recurring also. Both are never ending. A real number is either rational or irrational. That means when what we learned about the rational numbers and the irrational numbers we learned. So when we are mixing the group of the rational and irrational number, we are getting the new group that is called real numbers. Every irrational number can be represented on a number line using Pythagoras theorem. That we have learned how to represent irrational number on the number line, that with the help of the Pythagoras theorem we are doing that only. Here it is shown. Rationalization means what? To remove the square root from the denominator. Suppose 1 by root 2 is there, that root 2 we have to make it in the denominator, root 2 we have to make it a rational number. So what we will do? Multiply and divide it with the root 2. So that will happen how? 1 by root 2, I had told the example, 1 by root 2 into root 2 by root 2. So numerator we are having an irrational number, denominator will get root 4. Root 4 means it is 2 only. So the denominator we are getting a rational number 2 only. So these are the main topic, main theory part we have covered in the number system chapter 1. Now let us see the exercise wise solutions. Exercise 1.1, first question. Is 0 a rational number? Can you write it in the form p by q, where p and q are integers and q not equal to 0? What is the solution? We have to consider the definition of the rational number only here. A rational number is the number which can be written in the form p by q, where p and q are integers, q not equal to 0. That you already know. Now the question is asked for 0. Whether 0 can be written in the form p by q. So 0 can be written in the form 0 by 1, 0 by 2, 0 by 3, 0 by 4. Even with a negative number also denominator we can write 0. 0 by minus 1, 0 by minus 2, like that also. So what we can make the conclusion now, it can be written in the form p by q, where p and q are integers, q are not equal to 0. So we can conclude that 0 is a rational number. What is the conclusion? We can conclude that 0 is a rational number, because the definition of the rational number, we know that it can be expressed in the form p by q, and we got a q not equal to 0. Question number 2. Find 6 rational numbers between 3 and 4. So we have to find 6 rational numbers between 3 and 4 only. So what we must do here, already we know the concept here, that infinite rational numbers lies between any 2 rational numbers, and we have to find 6 rational numbers only, that also between 3 and 4. So we are going to multiply and divide it with the 7 only here. That is the equivalent fraction rule we are applying. 3 means it is 3 by 1. So 3 by 1 into 7 by 7, it is equal to 21 by 7. Similarly, 4 can be written as 4 by 1 into 7 by 7, it is equal to 28 by 7. So which are the rational numbers we got here? 21 by 7 and 28 by 7. So in between we can select the rational numbers, that is which are be required here. Let us see the answer now. So the rational numbers lies between 3 and 4, or we can say 21 by 7 and 28 by 7 respectively are 22 by 7, 23 by 7, 24 by 7, 25 by 7, 26 by 7, 27 by 7. They are called, if you count you can see that they are just 6 only. So we have to make a conclusion for this answer, that they also lie between 3 and 4, because the question is asked for 3 and 4 only. I think you got the point what I want to say, because children will finish with they lies between 21 by 7 and 28 by 7 only. These are the easy questions if you are getting in the question paper. So just make the conclusion like this, they also lies between 3 and 4 only, because by equivalent rational number idea only we have used, and the question is asked for 3 and 4, so the answer should be like that only. Question number 3. Find 5 rational numbers between 3 by 5 and 4 by 5. Now solution. We know that there are infinite rational numbers lies between any 2 rational numbers. Here the rational numbers are 3 by 5 and 4 by 5. Now we have to find 5 only. Just we are going to multiply and divide by 6. So 3 by 5 equal to 3 by 5 into 6 by 6 equal to 18 by 30. And similarly with the 4 by 5 we have to go 4 by 5 into 6 by 6, it is equal to 24 by 30. Now which are the 5 rational numbers lies between, means we can start with the 19 numerator to 23 numerator. That means the rational numbers are 19 by 30, 20 by 30, 21 by 30, 22 by 30 and 23 by 30. So these are the 5 rational numbers lies between, what we should write here, lies between 18 by 30 and 24 by 30. Still the answer is not completed. What we should write, they also lie between 3 by 5 and 4 by 5. So that is the question. That is why we are telling to write that it is 3 by 5 and 4 by 5. Your answer should be like this. Now question number 4. State whether the following statements are true or false. Give reasons for your answer. The first question, every natural number is a whole number. Second question, every integer is a whole number. Third question, every rational number is a whole number. Question is asked that just true or false only, but we have to give the reasons or justify, because it is asked that give the reasons for your answers. Let us see the first solution. First question is that every natural number is a whole number. So whole number and natural number, if you consider separately, what is the difference between the whole number and the natural number? Whole number is having one more number addition, that is 0. So we know that W equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. N equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Now what we can say that every natural number lie in the whole number series, or we can say that natural number is a small considered when it is compared with the whole number, because whole number is having additional one more number is there. So natural number is containing less number when it is compared to the whole number series. So the statement is true. I told the hint that when while teaching that one, I told that when we are going from left to right, always the statement is true. So that is why we can say that here every natural number lie in the whole number. So the statement is very true. What is the second question? Second question is every integer is a whole number. Every integer is a whole number. So what we can say about integer and whole number? Consider the integer and whole number separately. We know that integers are -4, -3, -2, etc. and whole numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. We can conclude that the whole number lies in the series of integers, but every integer does not appear in the whole number series. So every integer is not a whole number is the statement. How we can write that one? See, when we are talking about a natural number, I told that a natural number is less than when compared to whole number. It is a subset we will call. Now higher classes you will study this one. And again integers. So what we are telling there, every integer is a whole number, right? That is a statement. So integer is Z group. Z we are telling about right to left only. So reverse order we are telling. So it is false only, because this is the greater number group when it is compared to the whole numbers. That is why when we are talking about a natural number is a whole number, natural number is an integer, then we can say that the statement is true. When we are telling the reverse way, see that whole number is a natural number, every whole number is a natural number, every integer is a whole number, every integer is a natural number. That is, we are telling from the right side to left side, then it is wrong only, it is a false statement. So here the statement is false, and what is the conclusion? We can write that every integer is not a whole number. Question number 3, every rational number is a whole number. So if you consider the statement again, we know that a whole number is a less compared to the rational number. So we are telling about every rational number is a whole number. Again we are telling from the right side to left side, the statement is going to false only. Now let us see the solution once again. So we know that rational numbers are P by Q form. We know that whole numbers, all whole numbers we can express in the form P by Q, that is 0 by 1, 1 by 1, 2 by 1. So every whole number is a rational number only. Now let us see the reverse statement, that is what about the whole rational numbers? Every rational number, that is 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4, 1 by 5, 1 by 6 is not a whole number. Therefore we can conclude that every rational number is not a whole number. So clearly every whole number is a rational number, but every rational number is not a whole number. So the statement is false. We have completed exercise 1.1. Now we can go to for exercise 1.2. Question number 1. State whether the following statements are true or false. Justify your answers. First question. Every irrational number is a real number. Every point on the number line is of the form root m, where m is a natural number. And the third question. Every real number is an irrational number. What are the questions once again? Every irrational number is a real number. Every point on the number line is of the form root m, and also every real number is an irrational number. Consider the irrational numbers and the real numbers. What we have to prove here? Irrational number is a real number always. Every irrational number is a real number. Irrational numbers means which cannot be converted in the form P by Q, where P and Q are integers and Q not equal to 0. Some examples already given there. That is root 2, 3 pi, 0.011, 011, 011, 011, etc. That is a non-terminating and a non-recurring also we can hear, irrational number only. So I'll add here one more one because no pattern should be followed, then only. So 0 1 0 1 1 0 1 1 etc. like that, the pattern should not be there. This is the example. So here we are using that these are the irrational numbers. Now what is the meaning of the real numbers? Real number is a collection of rational and irrational numbers. Real number is a collection of irrational and rational numbers. So therefore we can conclude that every irrational number is a real number. So what I told for you, the same concept here also you can use. When I told about natural number is a subset of whole numbers, we know that the rational and irrational is giving as a real numbers, right? So irrational is less. Every irrational number is a real number. So we can say that every irrational number is a real number means it is less only, and we are speaking from left to right. So it is always right only. So what is the conclusion? Every irrational number is a real number. Every irrational number is a real number. The statement is true only. Consider a number line, and on a number line we can represent negative as well as a positive numbers. Some positive numbers are on the form root 1, root 1.1, root 1.2, but we cannot get a negative number after taking the square root of any number. For example, root of -5. We don't know the root only now because it is a higher class portion only. It is called a complex number and all that you learned there. So every number point on the number line, every point on the number line is not of the form root m, where m is a natural number, because -5 is not a natural number. So that is why the reason when the number line is taken there, it is consisting of positive as well as negative numbers. So when we are taking for the root of -5 is a point there, so we are not getting there, and negative value we cannot take according to the condition m is a natural number only. So it is not a true the statement. What is the true statement? What is the conclusion? Every number point on the number line is not of the form root m, where m is a natural number. Every real number is an irrational number. We are speaking from left to right to left only, that is the reverse order. So it is not true only, anyhow we know that one. What reason? Let us see. The irrational numbers are the real number and the real numbers separately. Irrational numbers are the numbers which cannot be expressed in the form p by q, where p and q are integers, q not equal to 0. Whereas a real number is the collection of rational and irrational numbers. Examples already given, the 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4, 1 by 5, again root 2, 3 pi, etc. So we can conclude that every irrational number is every rational number is a real number, but every real number is not a irrational number. So what is the conclusion here means, when we are speaking about the bigger set, bigger group to the smaller group, then the statement goes wrong only. So what is the conclusion? Every real number is not an irrational number. That is, some real numbers are rational also, are rational also there. So that is why the statement is wrong only. So out of these three questions, the first question, every irrational number is a real number, that is correct. Every point on the number line is of the form root m, where m is the natural number, it is false. Every real number is an irrational number, that is also false only. So better to write with one example, then it will be more clear for the answer. Question number 2. Are the square root of all positive integers irrational? If not, give an example of the square root of a number that is a rational number. So the question is that all square root of a positive integers are irrational only, not means we should give the example. Let us see the solutions. Square root of every positive integer will not give as an integer only. So let us take the example. Square root of 2, square root of 3, that is square root of 6, which are called irrational itself, because we are not having a perfect square root for these numbers. But root 4, if you take, the answer is 2, which is called as an integer. Therefore we conclude that square root of every positive integer is not an irrational number, and also we can say it is not always a rational number also. So these are the examples. The root 2, root 3, root 6 we can say that it is irrational, where root 4 the answer is 2, which we can call it as a integer. All integers are rational number only. So the example is very clear to you. So we can conclude that square root of every positive integer is not an irrational number. Question number 3. Show that root 5 can be represented on the number line. So solution it is, we need to draw the line segment AB of 2 unit on the number line, then draw the perpendicular segment BC, then at B of 1 unit, then join the points C and A, and to form a line segment AC, according to the Pythagoras theorem, AC value we can calculate, that is AC square equal to 2 square plus 1 square, that is equal to 5. Therefore AC equal to root 5. Then we have to draw the arc ACD, that is with the center A as a center, AC as a radius. We should complete the arc only, that one. That length should be taken, that is a root 5. Now B as a center, we should complete the arc. So draw the ACD to get the root number on the number line. Now let us see the constructions. See, already we have used this Pythagoras theorem, and we have completed our spiral activity also. So you must know that how to do this one, and this is almost we have done the one time, we have already completed. Just to see the steps and see the diagram also. So now we have to represent a number line. When you are doing the number line, you should put the arrows there. So otherwise it is wrong only. It is not a number line. And again, we at 2 we have to draw the perpendicular, which is 1 centimeter. Here 2 centimeter. Join AC. Now with your compass, take the measurement here and keep as B and draw this arc. So we will get that the root 5 on the number line. So let us see that root 5 on the number line. Once we got that, we should mark the points on the number line only. Now I want to say that when the question is asked for 3 or 4 mark questions, we have to write all the steps, Pythagoras steps, Pythagoras theorem part, and the diagram very well. We have, you know that one. But when it is asked for 2 mark and 2 mark question, as you know that time limit is there, so you can avoid the steps of construction. But the Pythagoras part, that is AC equal to root 5, that step to be written there, and with the diagram, neat diagram to be drawn there. So with this we are completed our exercise 1.1 and 1.2 very well, and you know that we already came across all the questions. This is a revision process only, so don't neglect the revisions, because once the revision is clear, once you are doing the revision, then your concept is more clear, and you can easily write your coming exams and all. So with this today's class I am winding up. Exercise 1.1 and 1.2, make a practice of this exercise very well. It will be helpful in coming exams. So practice more and score well in the coming exams. Thank you.